Hello and welcome to the Logic Box with me, Jones. Today we're doing something a bit different. Of course, it is the year of election in Ghana, 2020. Ghanaians will go to the polls again and elect a president, whether it will be the incumbent that will be re-elected or opposition or a third force. Today we're going to talk about the agenda of the PPP coming 2020 election. Of course, issues happening in the country of Ghana. And in the UK, we have Mr. Kit Yosin, who's the chairman of the Progressive People's Party UK and Ireland. Mr. Yosin, thank you for coming on the show.
It's my pleasure.
First and foremost, Mr. Yosin, your 2016 presidential candidate, Dr. Papa Kwesi Nduom. The past couple of years have been a torrid time for Dr. Papa Kwesi Nduom.
Yes, it does. But that's on his business side.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't affect the party which he leads. It's been the best way to put it is it's a clandestine activity by the government or the powers that be to try and suppress him, because they know that Dr. Papa Kwesi Nduom, the strides he has made in his business, especially the banking business, he's been able to establish 300 bank branches throughout the whole country. In the remote areas, you find GNbank, owned by Dr. Papa Kwesi Nduom and his group there. Therefore, he has been very popular in that area among Ghanaians as well. And so both NPP, NDC folks and all that, they love Dr. Nduom for the help he's providing for the society, for the nation. Now, the current administration that is in power, that's a new patriotic party, they're not very comfortable with his achievements and successes. So they have decided to bring his business down in the banking sector, which
you think is politically motivated?
Strongly politically motivated to suppress him, even to discourage him from running as a president of the nation come December 2020.
Okay, so let's look at GNbank. So GNbank failed to raise the minimum capital requirements that Bank of Ghana was requesting.
They did not fail.
Okay,
it was a clandestine activity to suppress him.
Okay.
They increased the minimum capital requirement by, I think, about 233% or something like that.
Yeah.
From 120 million Ghana cedis to 400 million. That is a big jump. And that is unreasonable. That's why the shareholders of GNbank decided to go a step lower. That is called savings and
loans. Yeah.
Company, instead of remaining as a bank.
A universal bank.
Yeah. So that's what happened.
Okay, now when GNbank was downgraded to a savings and loans company, now this is according to the Bank of Ghana. According to the Bank of Ghana, GN Savings and Loans transferred $62 million and another £718,000 to its sister company in the US without the knowledge of Bank of Ghana and the Ministry of Finance. These are some strong allegations.
Yeah, Dr. Nduom and the shareholders of GN have explained that. They disputed that assessment because in Ghana, it is well known, in Accra itself, it's well known that we got a branch of the business in the United States of America. So for Group Nduom. And therefore, products that will have to come from the US is financed in the US by GN Group. Therefore, paying for products that we've bought from the US, from Accra
to
imports
and exports.
There's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
So many cars that have come into Accra, into Ghana, came from the US. You couldn't say we paid them by cedis, and therefore this is intercompany transactions. There's nothing wrong with that. The kingdom has got, it's all fully and well documented. It's part of the clandestine activity to suppress Dr. Indom.
I mean, I have read some of his statements in which he said Bank of Ghana were aware of every transaction.
They were absolutely aware. Yeah, we do everything by the law. It's all legal. It is all legal.
So this is a political witch hunt.
It is. It is more than a political witch hunt. It's incredibly, the group Indom itself employ a lot of
over 1,000 employees.
Mostly even NPP card bearers or members. But Dr. Indom doesn't believe in politicizing his business. So he doesn't really mind.
Why do you think this is? Because for a Ghanaian businessman, an entrepreneur like Dr. Indom, with the nickname Ejumera, and all of a sudden, as you're saying that the government in power looking to crash down his businesses.
Yes, it's quite clear. It's not just only Dr. Indom, Mr. Kwame Dufour, or if I got the name right. There's so many in the past. It's a thing that happens in Ghana. This is not the first time, but this time it's too far. It's too much.
What do you think the government should have done instead of closing down all these banks or merging them?
The banks, through the government, Bank of Ghana, believes that those companies operating in bank businesses in Ghana, they are not well structured and all that. But we've got the referees who are the Bank of Ghana. Bank of Ghana is supposed to monitor the activities daily basis of all the banks, not just GNbank. But there's so many smaller banks and all that, or financial institutions. The question is, what went wrong in all those years when Group Indom has been there for over 25 years? Mm. The other smaller banks as well. What was the business of the Bank of Ghana in monitoring? Were they monitoring effectively or efficiently? We have important personalities like the late Mr. Atta. He was literally a Bank of Ghana governor, isn't it? Mm. And Dr. Bawumia, the current vice president, was a deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana. And the question is, what was he doing there? Were they working effectively, efficiently? How come suddenly you want to close down all the banks in Ghana, some of the banks, and retain those that belong to the finance minister? The finance minister is also in the banking business. For his banks, they're perfectly okay. But GNbank, owned by Dr. Indom and his group, shareholders, for them, they've got to close down. They have to close these businesses down, these banks down. Banks that are serving the people of Ghana, thousands of people, millions of people, of customers. You're closing everything down. As we speak today, they have started paying some of the bank customers their money, savings and loans, companies. They are paying their monies in drips and drops because not everybody has been paid. They close these businesses to keep Dr. Indom quiet. And we disagree. Dr. Indom has challenged these closures because the reasons they closed these banks was that they were financially
liquidity issues.
But Dr. Indom has no liquidity issues. He challenged the Bank of Ghana and, of course, literally the government of Ghana. That's why he's in court. And the case has been to court it's been postponed or adjourned for about 5 times. The last time was just a few days ago. Yeah. That's now postponed again up to next month, March, about 20th of March. And this is a leader of our political party who, in his right mind, would go through that. At the same time, it's possible that he is our flag bearer. He can be a flag bearer. You need a clear set of mind to go through that level. They are frustrating him, but he's very quiet. He believes in the law. We use the laws. Mm-hmm. I know we come to other issues that we have raised, but it is not fair. And Ghanaians are all watching. It's not fair to suppress your own Ghanaian who has got businesses employing thousands, several times more than 10,000 staff in the whole Ghana, suppressing him like that. And at the same time, coming over to UK, that is our presidency, our government, coming over to the foreign countries and encouraging people to take businesses home, both Ghanaians and non-Ghanaians and all that. Who would go there? Because Dr. Indom himself was in the United States of America. He had to settle in Ghana. He settled in Ghana with businesses giving jobs to thousands and thousands of people. You're trying to crush down his businesses, and what have you got in place? At the moment, all the bank staff are home. They are unemployed. You create unemployment. At the time they were coming into government, they said they will create employment. So they have come to create unemployment, and we are watching their next steps.
I remember, I think I interviewed Dr. Indum, I think a year or so.
Yeah,
and the question, and I think the question of whether he's going to run again came up, and he didn't actually give an answer whether he's going to run again or not. 2020, this is election year.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about it. We know that President Mahama for the NDC will be the flag bearer. Nanado will be the flag bearer for the NPP. Will Dr. Indum run again? Will he be the flag bearer for the Progressive People's Party election 2020?
I expect him, I'll tell you straight, we were expecting him to run again, but we use our constitution. The law applies in the Progressive People's Party. I'm not sure on other parties. Who are going for unopposed candidates. We don't believe in that. We are doing our primaries, and by the end of March, we will finish all. Right now, people have picked nomination forms and all that. We are going through the primaries. By the end of March, we confirm our candidates.
Has he given any indication that he will run?
We have rather given him indication that he must run. We have rather given him indication that he must run. Seriously, it has not come to the right time. The time will come. So at the end of March, then we will establish. We will not only Dr. Indom, got more people who will come in for the position of the presidential candidate.
And just touching on that. Do you think PPP can still be considered as a third force without Dr. Papa Kwesi Indom being the flag bearer?
Of course, why not? Not even a third force. Not even a third force. We are capable of winning power. We are capable of winning power because our strategy is totally different from what we have seen with NPP and NDC. We believe in inclusiveness. We do not even believe that just a party people must be ministers and all that. Cabinet minister is a very strong position. We would discourage even our MPs from being cabinet ministers. It's a very important positions, So we include Ghanaians, professionals, efficient Ghanaians, the youth, the women, and the Ghanaians who are capable of making a difference. Therefore, you could come from NPP, NDC, or from nowhere. We will select and put you there as cabinet ministers, and we will rather give way for the members of parliament to work as members of parliament. That's very important.
The party PPP was birthed in 2012.
Yes, we are 8 years old.
Okay. And considering fighting against giants, the likes of NPP and NDC, from 2012, looking at your results, you had 64,267 votes.
Yeah.
2016, huge leap, 113,240 votes. Shouldn't the PPP more or less concentrate on getting their members into parliament to bring about a real change?
Our reason for being there is to introduce an agenda for change. That is, we want to change the way we do things. NPP is 63 years old political party. We know that. And NDC is 38 years old. Yes, you call them giants. Okay, we accept them to be giants. But when it comes to elections, it's not a matter of physical strength of the individual. We are really going to believe in the strong institutions, as even suggested by former U.S. President Obama. We believe that we can contest against the vie with these parties. It doesn't matter how strong or how old these parties are. The principles are what are important. And I tell you what, we when we started, immediately we formed our party. That's in 2012.
Yeah,
we did something fantastic, and that was very, very important. In 2012, we formed our party. We wrote our manifesto, and we put in I think at point 5 of our manifesto, we introduced, we assured the people of Ghana that if we are given the chance, the opportunity to form a government, we would introduce free and compulsory basic education. That's very vitally important. Today, people think it's NPP. No, it's not NPP. It's Progressive People's Party that brought the free and compulsory basic education implementation in there.
I want to bring you back quickly, Mr. Yosin, because clearly looking at your election results from 2012 to 2016, there's been improvement. And in case of what's happened with Dr. Indum and businesses and everything that's happened, you could tell 2020 would have been even bigger for PPP. Absolutely. How would the party go about building trust in the people of Ghana?
Well, that's the right question. Our leader, Dr. Papa Kwesi, who happens to be the founder of the party, in his own private business, he is making strides in the nation. This is what the Ghanaians have looked at. And this is what NPP has sussed out. My goodness me, if we don't bring this man down for 2020, it's going to be a totally different kettle of fish when it comes to December this year. And we mean it, and we believe that can happen.
We've seen in past elections, we've seen parties coming together. With the momentum of the PPP, are we going to see the unification of CPP and PPP?
I was a CPP kid myself. I grew up as a CPP kid. We have started talking. They are talking to us. We are talking to them.
Okay.
I put out an article, less than a year ago, a few months ago, for coalition of Nkrumahists. All the children, men and women, boys and girls of Kwame Nkrumah, all the splintered groups and all that. I have personally put out an article there, for us to come back together. But the question you are now asking is that are we likely to be in coalition with all other parties? Of course, yes.
With what party?
With all the parties.
Including NDC?
Of course, yes. I mean, they are Ghanaians. NDC, they are Ghanaians. They are not from this place. They are Ghanaians. It is very likely because we are serious.
But what have the NPP done or are not doing that you think they should, they need to be doing?
They do not care about the health and the welfare of the ordinary citizens of Ghana. Their prosperity, quality of life, they don't care. They haven't seen that. They didn't even say that in the State of the Nation address.
Well, according to the president, Ghana is in good health.
No, in good health. I mean, maybe amongst the MPP ministers and members of parliament, I would not disagree with him. But we are talking about the whole Ghana. Go to Kulungugu. Go to remote areas of Ghana. What life is there? Human beings are drinking water from the same streams as animals. And Nanado, or our president, or the top guys, in Accra, they are drinking bottled water in the Flagstaff House. Now they've changed it to Jubilee House. We can't dispute that, But the villages are still villages, which is sad. Our roads are poor, which is also sad. Even our roads, even the motorway that Nkrumah left, is beyond disrepair. They cannot even maintain a motorway. None of them has built a motorway anyway. By this time, we needed a motorway from Kumasi to Accra, to Takoradi, to Cape Coast, and stuff like that. Kufudua, Kede. We need these things. Ghana is still the same. There's no development. That is why I believe that these things are important, because traveling kills a lot of people. Try to overtake what you're driving through the central region or western region, or all parts of Ghana, you have a head-on collision. We want to change these things. Our roads must be double. There must be dual carriageways, not the same old roads which was left to us by governments years ago. It's still the same. And you tell us that there's development. There's no development in there.
Where does your party stand on the voters register issue?
We want it to be linked with the National Identification Authority, the listing there. That's the issue we have. We believe in perfection, that's fine, even though it is not an attribute of mankind. But at least if it's linked to the National ID Authority list, I think that would be proper than the EC designing their own brand of voters register.
Don't you have faith in the EC?
It's not a matter of faith. It's a matter of fact. I mean, we both of us are in the United Kingdom. It's a very hardly would we hear EC in the United Kingdom. For Ghana, EC is not supposed to be independent, but it's dependent. ECs in Ghana are dependent upon political parties and all that, and it shouldn't be the case. I have nothing against the Electoral Commission per se, but what is going on? We want the government to leave the EC alone to do their job.
But is it not politicians that are making it bigger than it is? If the Electoral Commission, the institution itself, should be left as an independent body to be able to carry out its mandate, then what business is it of politicians to go on radio and making song and dance about it? They are stakeholders, and every decision that the EC wants to take, they consult political parties anyway.
Yes, just as you have mentioned, and I think about less than 4 weeks ago, I had to attend a meeting at the Ghana High Commission here in Belgrave Square in the United Kingdom. EC, Electoral Commission from Ghana, was supposed to have met political parties Ghanaian political parties in the United Kingdom. Mm-hmm. We went there. The meeting never took place because the Electoral Commission delegation failed to travel. They were still in Accra. And I believe that we were trying to solve their own, voters registers issues, But then we were invited by the Ghana High Commission, which technically it's a NPP administration. Yeah. It's a political administration. There's nothing wrong with we being invited, but there's something wrong coming through that channel, literally coming through NPP hands. NPP is in power. NPP is in the High Commission. Now, why would the Electoral Commission not meet Ghanaians in the UK and in a different platform apart from Ghana High Commission? There's influence there. The linkage to political parties is there. You can't separate the two. This makes you sad. It makes you feel embarrassed to be a Ghanaian. I'm not condemning anything about us, but you can see. Therefore, yes, the political parties have influence on the EC, but we, the Progressive People's Party, we don't think that must happen. We will let them do their own work, just like the football referee on the pitch.
Before I let you go, a quick one on the current government's assessment so far.
I think what is very important is the poorest person happy. That would be the basis of the assessment. The poorest person in Ghana, if he's happy, then it's a fantastic job. But if not, no, sir, I beg your pardon. If not, why not? Why not? If you go to the remote areas, people are not. You put it another way, NPP administration is rushing to do so many things in a short time, especially 10 months to election. So they're trying to do a bit of everything.
And they've implemented free SHS. Which seems to have worked, and a lot of people are happy about it. Recently went to Ghana. I spoke to a lot of people. It might not be perfect, but people are really happy about the free SHS.
It's going to be first. I was talking about the SHS, but you stopped me and we changed the question. That is, we, the Progressive People's Party, introduced
that.
We thank God that the NPP administration has implemented it here, but we started it. That's the significance of our party, Progressive People's Party.
The fight against galamsey, do you think it can be won?
Yes, I believe it can be won easily.
How?
Well, we need a strong legislation. And I mean strong legislation. What is happening in our country with galamsey, I've explained that it's get them and sell them. Mm-hmm. Get it and sell it. That's why they coined it to be galamsey. If we have strong laws in the country, it can be stopped within a week and not 3 years the NPP is taking. Because the president said if he cannot resolve it, he will put his job on the line. He's still not put it on the line. Now we've got 10 months to go. He said he will put his job on the line if he doesn't succeed in fighting it. And we believe, the Progressive People's Party, that it's not good. It has destroyed our water bodies. The poor souls would drink this water and even die in ignorance through no fault of their own. I saw a river going to Kumasi from Cape Coast just a few years ago. And I asked the driver, what river is it? And he said it was River Pra. And honest to God, it looks like coffee with milk in it, yellow, quite honestly. How a massive river can be colored, the reason was galamsey. It's very dangerous. Our trees are being felled in the deep forests. It's all affecting our waters. Very dangerous. Every government must stop it. Excavators which they have brought in or all that doesn't help. Why did they import the excavators? What are their serial numbers? Who imported them into Ghana? These are pertinent questions that we want answered. When did it arrive in Ghana? Which port? Takoradi or Tema Port? It wouldn't come by plane. It's a massive, heavy thing. So Ghana government, every government in power can stop it unless they are not serious. And of course, I don't find this government serious in stopping it. We are serious in stopping it. The Progressive People's Party, we will stop it. We'll stop within a week. It must stop. I gave an interview somewhere, and people didn't understand me, and God forgive them. Because I said, Idi Amin's rule, and AFRC on the flight, Lieutenant General Rollins. If Rollins says don't do it at that time, you wouldn't. Because you'll be shot and killed. That's the language the die-hard want to hear. Rollins, when he came, you wouldn't dare. Even if he said don't breathe, he won't breathe. Let alone go and do galamsey. We need iron hands, brutal force. Some people didn't understand me. We're doing what we want. Look at it. A whole president says, I will come and uproot it. He can't.
He started, didn't he? There was a big campaign against galamsey, which a lot of excavators were seized, and it looks as if the water bodies were getting cleaner.
But they didn't go to anywhere, I'm disappointed. I am disappointed. And I promise you, I can assure you, and the whole Ghanaians, that we will uproot it. It's just a legislation. Give punishment at least 30 years in prison. If you are caught doing it, at least 30 years in prison. You said that this will stop. Nobody wants their kids to be doing that. Of course, parents are involved. Mother and father are involved. Their sons, about 20, 30-year-old, they have no jobs. They go and get millions of cedis. Of course, every parent will love it. But some go and die. Decide 2 a.m., these boys and girls, they'll go down the pit. And if it caves in, they are dead. It's a gamble. But it shouldn't happen. But if the punishment is that severe, at least 30 years in prison, people will think twice.
The current government has come under a lot of criticism when 500 excavators were reported to have gone missing. I'm interested to hear your take on that story.
But the excavators, if they look like pens, then the government, I won't blame the government. But if they do not look like pens, my goodness me, excavators work out, they cannot fly. So the government must be responsible to track down all excavators in the country. Because if you go to the port, I've done some internship in Takoradi Harbour. So I know what I'm talking about. Excavators will come through the harbour. through the ship. My goodness me. So it's not something that... So when you go there, go to the customs and excise, we must have all the serial numbers of all excavators that have come into Canada. That's the way we got to start to find out where are they, who are they. Look at this, it's a funny story to hear. Suddenly, excavators are missing. Suddenly, some professors, surgeons, and all top surgeons are involved in galamsey or excavators. They are given to their children and their members of the MPP members, the chairman, and all that.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
The word allegedly is not the Ghanaian language. The fact is that they are doing it. It's not alleged. They are really doing it.
Auditor General has undertaken performance audit of the Ghana Education Trust Fund, the Getfund, between 2012 and 2018, and they concluded that many scholarship beneficiaries within the period were not needy. So the Getfund is for needy people, young people in Ghana, showing promising in education to be able to get scholarship. Yeah. However, it transpired that this money is actually going towards politicians and people within the public sector.
It's a great shame that important personalities have got their families in there. People who shouldn't be there are there. This is why I'm saying that what about the life of the poorest is more important than overall assessment of the government. Just a few weeks ago, I gave them -10. I gave the government -10 because it's all about the beautiful languages and the beautiful things you've introduced in Accra. But what you have not done is the poorest is poorer than even their own old situation. It is not fair. We have to look at them kindly. This Getfund, the scholarships and all that, should go to real poor people. Go to United States. They are paying monies. Somebody says it's the minister's daughter or son. I'm not going to mention names now because I haven't got the facts. Yes. I want the Auditor General. The Auditor General, and of course, the Accountant General's report and the Auditor General's assessment of that. You know, I know he said it. We really want to see the schedules and before we can talk. Otherwise, you come and embarrass somebody in the media. It is going to be very dangerous. Yeah. But the NDC is not writing a good story at all. If under their own watchful eyes these things are happening, then what about what we don't know? That's the question. That's why they are struggling to come back again. And it's not going to happen. We will make sure that this government is changed through the ballot box, not through any forceful means. God forbid that.
But then you said you give the government -10. Yeah. And if we look at Ghana's economy, according to reports, Ghana's economy continued to expand in 2019. The first quarter gross domestic product growth was estimated at 6.7% compared to that of 5.4% in the same period last year. So the current government can just show you this and say, look what we've done since we've been in power. The economy is growing.
No, I tell you what, today, the students of economics will have to laugh. Once the gross domestic product itself confuses so many people in Ghana who haven't got a clue about what we are talking about. You see, we are talking of, let's say, economic growth. Mm-hmm. I've never heard, through the State of Nation address, I've never heard that life is better for the people. The poorest people is what we're talking. That's the yardstick. Not the top people, the beautiful cars and the helicopters in Accra, fine. Some of the villages, I come from a village, there's no helicopter in my village, for instance. We don't want a posh life and all that. But the poorest being looked after? That's the question. That's the question. That's why Progressive People's Party passion is. Of course, Accra is a beautiful place. You can see beautiful bridges. So that's not what we are talking about. We are talking about the poorest. If we can look after the poorest, then Ghana will be a great place. So MPP is trying to do a lot in so short a time. They give us a lot of promises. Now, of course, they've done a bit well, but not too well. No, but not too well. The railway station, the railway services they have put back. Apparently, my own village called Takwa. I'm not sure if you know that area. They said training from Takwa runs to Takwa. I said, thank God. And within 48 hours ago, they said they suspended their service because they're trying to impress people, which is very dangerous. But for us, we will introduce a policy of for national developmental agenda. Therefore, it's a legislative instrument. We pass legislation in the parliament for that to be introduced, become a law in Ghana. So when you come and we are building a pen, and halfway, continue building the pen before you go to the light bulb. That is what, it's not just MPP's program, it's a Ghana program, but we want to kill it off. That's why Progressive People's Party, we are in to see progress for the people of Ghana. We're talking about health. I didn't hear how many MRI scanning machines we have in Ghana. Almost nil. Almost nil. We are struggling with MRI scanning machines. And we're telling us Ghana is a healthy place. What does health mean then? The health of an individual or the health of the political party? I would say and the MPP is very healthy. There's a lot of corrupt practices in there.
PPP.
Yes, sir. We are awake. We are awake. My party is awake.
Mr. Yosin, thank you very much for coming on the Logic Box. I'm sure we'll get you to come on again. This is the first round, so to speak. Thank you very much for tuning in to the Logic Box Ghana Election Special. We're done. We'll see you next week. It's goodbye from us.